Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and hit all. That way you'll get future videos. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's YouTube know that you like this content. So, I'm going to show you today what I use for powering my radios and whatever else I have to take with me to like a POTA. Some of these could be for soda also. So stick with me here and let's run the intro and we'll get to this. Okay, this is my Honda generator. I think I bought this. They started making these in 1999. I think I bought this in 2000. I'm pretty careful with it. Done a few oil changes, probably not as many as I should have. Here's the front. Okay, you get your plugs, a reset button. This is your ground. That's important. This is your eco switch on and off. And these two here let you hook two of these in parallel. Okay, your pull start, your choke, your on-off switch, which is actually your fuel shut off also, and shut to turn on and off your fuel. And then you should have your muffler back here. I'm going to start this. It hasn't been started. It's been a few months. My video that I did to Nevada on the motorcycle riding. So I'll put the microphone right here. So what I'm going to do is, what I found is you turn the fuel on and let it set for a little bit, because since it hasn't been used in a while, it's going to be, the carburetor is going to be empty. And I turned the choke on. Okay, let's just see if that was long enough. Hopefully. Maybe not. Huh. This never happens. You literally took one more pull. Like I said, you should let it set a little while. Okay, this is on eco mode right here. I'm going to turn it off the eco mode, which makes it run at high. That's back onto eco. So this is about a foot away. This is about 2 feet. And about 3 feet. Now if you look here, this right here is a ground terminal. This is very important because what I noticed one time, I was getting noise into my radio on 40 with the generator running. And I simply just went out, hooked a wire on a tent stake, stuck it in my yard, and sure enough, the noise pretty much went away. So if you come down to the next, the spark plug compartment's here. It's in this little hole when you take that off. The air filter is underneath the big panel there, on the opposite side of that, but where the pull start is. Okay, now here's something that a lot of people don't know. Other generators, like I had a Gentech and the Yamahas, they have a fuel shutoff valve, and that's great. But on my Gentech, I actually forgot to turn it off when I turned my generator off one time. I went to Pismo, got to the beach there, got ready to throw my start my generator, and it was flooded out because it leaked gas the whole time. So the shutoff is really important. But on the Honda, a lot of people don't know this, but the on-off switch right here, it says the engine switch controls the ignition system and the fuel valve. So when you turn this off, you actually are turning off the fuel valve. So it does have a fuel shutoff. And then when you turn it on, it turns it back on. Now, I didn't really read this originally, but I kind of figured it out on my own because when my generator had been setting for a while, that it wouldn't start right away. And then I let it set for a second or so, and then all of a sudden it would start right away. And what it was the carburetor was empty of fuel. As I'm getting it ready, I turn it on, and then I start it because it fills the carburetor up. And then you have your pull start, and it just says not to let go of it. You know, everybody probably does that on their lawnmowers even. Has this valve on top. I can never remember which way to put it, so I don't ever change it once I get it right. And usually you choke this thing and let it, and then as soon as it starts, you move it back just a little, and then in a few minutes, less than a minute usually, I can, depending on how cold it is. I've camped some places that's like 20 degrees, and it takes a lot for the choke to be able to turn that off. Has the Eco Throttle. I think the Yamahas probably have the same thing. There's an on-off switch to that, and all that does is it basically lets, instead of running full bore the whole time, all out at high, it regulates the RPMs to what the need is, so you don't waste as much fuel. Now these little things, they hold like just a shy of a gallon. I usually get 7 to 8 hours. So it doesn't have a fuel gauge, but I don't really care about that. Most fuel gauges are good when they're new. Eventually on these, like motorcycles and generators, eventually they get to where you can't read them anyhow. But I usually top mine off when I start it. All right, this is the battery I bought to carry with my KX2. I use this first. It gives me a full 12 watts out on any bands that do 12 watts, and pretty much lasts for as long as you could probably do a couple activations with this thing if you're on soda or something like that. And then I use the internal battery as my backup. Just saves me from having to take the battery out of the radio all the time to charge it. Okay, this is the battery box that I built. This is a 9 amp hour. I'll put a link someplace in the video up on the, as you look at the screen, the right hand corner. Has USBs and a cigarette lighter and a voltage. It's showing 13.5. I don't know if you can read that. Looks like you can there. Has a couple of binding posts up on top. And I just run the radio to this. A couple power poles. Mike's favorite. Okay, for my my 9 amp hour box that I did, the build I did on, and I'll post something so you guys can refer back to that video. I use this one here. It's $100, and I've run a 100-watt radio off of this. It's probably not the best. You probably should keep it 75 or less, but it works, and it lasts quite a while. And then you also look like you have a battery charger. You need to get a special battery charger for lithium batteries because they have to charge at a higher rate. I think that's the reason for that. This is my 30 amp hour box that I built. Link should be up in the right hand corner for this one also, if you want to check the video out. I've run 2 or 3 parks on the airs with this thing. That's the power poles in the top. I did a little different. USB has USB-C also. A couple more USBs and a cigarette lighter. Then your binding post. Voltage. There's a voltage meter here. There's also one there. And it's showing 13.6. Hopefully you can read that. Alright. This is what I use on my for my portable power for
multiple things. I've run my refrigerator off this. I got a 12-volt refrigerator for like overlanding, and I've run that off of that one, and it did well. It didn't even go down in voltage.
Okay, for my 30 amp hour box, the bigger one, and I'll put something up for that one also, so you can refer to that video that I did on the build on that. This is a company called Amped Outdoors. If you look at the price here, this is pretty cheap for a 30 amp hour battery. And if you, what I found out with this company, if you see it in stock and you want one, you should buy it because it won't be in stock. And it's 30 amp hour, cutoff is 1465, 15 amp current. And this, I've done two to three activations off of one charge. Weighs 6 pounds, 10 ounces. I've been very happy with this battery also. They sell various batteries. I mean, you just can't really beat that price. And I can say that it's been good for me so far. I've had it for probably 6-8 months.
Okay, this is the, it's called the Dokio. I think that's how they pronounce it. 80 watt foldable solar panel. It comes with a controller. Hopefully you can see that. Let it glare. There you go. This controller is also good for lithium batteries and lead acid. And this came with it. And it's about $100 for this whole setup. It has a little case here. Installs the controller and all the wires. And then there's the whole thing. It's about 2 by 2 folded and about 2 by 4 feet, 2 feet by 4 feet.
Okay, this is the solar panel that I purchased, and I don't remember if I just got lucky or I looked it up first, but if you look at this controller here, this controller is good for lithium batteries as well as lead acid batteries. So I can charge my battery boxes with this, and it's an, let's see what we got, 80 watt. It's a folding, so it folds down. There's out a couple looks. There's what it looks like when it's folded up there, the sizes. And this is in my affiliate list also if you're interested in these. So it doesn't cost you any more, but I do make a little bit of money. It's not very much. I was hoping it'd be better, but not a whole lot. But it does something, and eventually I'll be able to put stuff back into the channel here.
All right, I hope you liked the video today. It was just kind of showing people what I use. You may use something different. If you do, put it down in the comments below. Let me know. I like to see what other people use also. So if you did like the content, hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit the bell for all, and you'll get future videos. So this is Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Adventures. 73 all.